Hey, what's up, guys? We're here in the Old Fort of Niagara Falls, so let's go check it out. It's a cool little battlefield here we're gonna go look at, and a lot of cool views. So hope you guys enjoy this video also, so tag along. It's the map right here.
You want me? What for?
There's a tank right here.
What for, Leah?
Just gonna walk over here to the visitor center. Come in here to purchase our tickets today. Door now. Time to explore outside now. We are now getting started. We are on the path. Just walking over there to the buildings that's in the middle, right on the left of me. I mean on the right of me. So I'm gonna turn the camera around, show you guys what it looks like on the right of me. That's where we heading to, right there in the middle. We just gotta walk this path all around. That's the lighthouse right there on the left side. I'm just walking right down here to the right of us. Now we're gonna get started. My dude's cleaning up the place. But we just making our way out of here. Continue on. Go to the next building.
A disclaimer, the gun doesn't always go off in the first try, so don't laugh too hard at me until at least the 5th misfire. So here we go. Try number 1 on the count of 3, 2, 1. Alright.
That thing was loud.
What?
That's loud.
That's
What?
loud.
Anyway, real
deaf,
quickly,
man.
I do have 2 more weapons you might want to see. The first one, everyone knows what this is. The sword. And the sword is used for stabbing. Problem is, the people you're stabbing, they have these too. So by the time you get to actually use this, you're Swiss cheese. So they end up ditching these a lot of times. And the last thing I want to show you, the bayonet. Now, like I was telling them, you can't mount this on this gun because this is a trade gun, it's not a military gun. And the reason why I have a trade gun is because we don't have good military grade muskets in the 18th century. Today we do, it's just they're inside. But in the 18th century they had to use these trade guns. Now, you would mount this like so, and you could fix it, and what that meant is you could shoot while you stabbed. You wouldn't do that necessarily, but you could shoot while it was fixed, is what I should say. And it is basically a very, very, very nasty weapon because it's triangular. It's all about shape. So you get a wound, you can't seal. So if you don't bleed out from that, do you think these are going to be clean? No. They're going to be very nasty because if I do shoot while this is fixed, it's going to accumulate black powder residue on the blade that gets into your bloodstream, and black powder is made from charcoal, sulfur, and saltpeter. Saltpeter is going to give you a very nasty infection because it's usually made by boiling cow poop and human urine together. But it is what makes gunpowder explode, gives it potassium nitrate. So when it comes to bayonet charges, don't stick around. I'm here all week.
Thank you.
Alright, last thing I want to talk about is the fact that this would be illegal, be a war crime on a battlefield today, because the Geneva Convention shortly after World War I outlaws all triangular blades, be it knife, sword, or bayonet, from warfare because they consider the triangular blade to be too brutal. Nuclear bombs are fine. God forbid you have one of these. Anyway, with that, I finished my demonstration. If anybody has questions or wants any pictures, anything like that, feel free to do so. And thank you for visiting.
Thank you.
We done with that little show. Now we're going to check out building number 6. Let's go in here and see what it looks like inside. All these barrels in here.
Welcome to the Powder Magazine. This building was constructed by the French in 1757 as part of a 2-year expansion program that transformed Fort Niagara from a small frontier outpost to one of the most formidable fortresses in 18th century North America. The design of the enlarged fort and the powder magazine itself was based on European models. While many powder magazines in North America were constructed at least partially underground, Fort Niagara's new magazine was built entirely above ground to lessen the chance of the gunpowder becoming damp and less effective. If you compare the size of the building when viewed from the outside with the size of the interior, you will realize that the stone walls of the magazine are about 4 feet thick. Overhead, the space between the outer roof and the much lower interior ceiling would be filled with dirt. In case of attack, these features make the magazine bomb-proof, protecting the up to 50 tons of gunpowder that could be stored here against a direct hit from an explosive artillery shell. Other features, like the nail-free assembly of the wooden floors and wall coverings, and the use of gunpowder storage barrels wrapped with hoops of brass, copper, or willow, help to minimize the chance of a spark igniting an accidental fire or explosion.
Are we done with that little class? We out of here, and let's continue on hiking. On the side of this building we just in, got a little plaque right here. On this building was made in 1879. See another number right here, number 10 on it. That's the restroom that's back here. Got the men's bathroom over there, the female's bathroom right there. Let's go inside this building. Out of here. Got another one that's back here. Go upstairs now and check out the upstairs. See what the upstairs look like.
Welcome to the Upper Guard Room, Le Garde du Corps. The French soldiers who lived here in the early 1750s were part of the independent companies of the Navy, les Compagnies Franches de la Marine. The fort's small garrison of 30 to 40 men protected French interests in the Niagara region, including the highly competitive fur trade. Most recruits for the independent companies came from France, where they signed a contract for a minimum 6-year enlistment. Soldiers were supposed to be at least 16 years old, but many recruiters bent the rules to accept younger men. Most recruits joined to gain employment. A few sought to escape the law. Service at a frontier fort in New France could be brutal and boring. Much of the soldiers' daily routine consisted of guard duty, making repairs to the fort, or escorting supplies up and down the river. Here in the guard room, the soldiers were assigned guard duty lasting 24 consecutive hours. During this time, they would serve as sentries for 2-hour periods. While not on sentry duty, the soldiers remained at the ready in the guard room. Here they could sleep in their uniforms or prepare their ration of peas and pork in the fireplace. They also ate bread issued from the bakery. When off duty, they were free to augment their meager rations by gardening or hunting wild game.
Right here, we're going to turn to the right. Another little chest right here. A little padlock. And you got a beautiful view right here. I can't really see because the window's dirty, but yeah, they got it locked, so I can't open it. Let's go to the next room. A little box here. Let's see what this box got to
Welcome
say.
to the Commandant's quarters as they appeared in the early 1750s. The Commandant was usually a captain in La Compagnie Franche de la Marine, the French colonial infantry. He was responsible for defending the fort against attack, negotiating with Native Americans, supervising the fur trade, and maintaining the condition of the fortress and its garrison. At Niagara, he also had to oversee the condition of the portage road around Niagara Falls. Officers were usually drawn from the Canadian gentry and often followed their fathers into the military. There was a wide social gulf between the officer and the enlisted man as reflected in the items displayed in this room. Not only did the officer have private space, even at remote wilderness outposts, he had the ability to bring along personal furnishings and other possessions like books, silver, and china. In this way, he could maintain himself as a gentleman. The Commandant reported directly to the Governor-General of New France, sending frequent correspondence about the needs of the fort and developments in the surrounding region. The room where you are standing is the Commandant's bedroom. The adjacent room to the east is the officer's dining room, and the small room to the west was used for storage and as an office for the Commandant. As you tour the French castle, look for differences between the officers' and enlisted men's quarters and possessions.
This is the dining room he was talking about that we just came from. We'll continue walking over here. Let's go to the last floor. Check out the last floor now. Got here to the last building, but it's closed for the season. I'm show you guys what it looks like around it. It's closed for the winter. Dwelling over there is all ice on it, it's all frozen. We back over here. Just gonna go up here, just take a little peek up here. But this is the end of it right here. Just gonna do a little walking around here. Show you guys what it looks like from right here. From this angle. You think all them buildings over there. Here you can go inside in the summertime. I'll take you through this tunnel right here. They got like cannons and stuff that shoots from out there. Let's see if I can show you guys a little bit. You see the cannons all over there in the window. You see them holes over there in the middle of that wall. There's cannons that's sticking out of there. That's what they shoot it. Protecting their property. Wrap it up right here. Once we get over here, we'll try this cool little view. Wrap it up here, making my way right back to the car. It was a cool little hike here. It made us feel like we was in the 1700s, the 1800s, hiking in these buildings. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. It was a cool little day hike. If you guys want to come here, this is the Navy Yard, the fort, down Niagara Falls. There's a beautiful scenery up here, so you guys want to check it out, y'all can check it out. We'll be putting the address down below in the description, so you guys want to come here. I will be putting that down below, so you guys want to copy and paste that and put that on your GPS. It's a beautiful place out here. I'm going to turn the camera around, give y'all one last shot of it before we start making our way right back to the car. It's a cool hike, so make sure you guys hit that notification bell if you haven't for the next adventures, and I'll see you guys on the road.
Bye.